My name is Helen Whitaker, 69 years old, and for the past 34 years, this little brick ranch house on Elmwood Lane in suburban Charlotte, North Carolina, has been my anchor. I bought it in 1990 with the last paycheck from my final shift as head librarian at the public library downtown. Every shelf I dusted, every late night story hour I led, every overtime hour I logged went into the down payment and then the mortgage payments. My husband Paul and I raised our daughter Claire here. We hung Christmas lights on the porch every December, planted azaleas along the walkway every spring, and sat on the back patio watching fireflies until the kids were grown and gone. Paul died 11 years ago. Heart attack, quick and merciless. The house felt cavernous after that. Too many rooms, too much silence. When Claire called 3 years ago saying she and her husband Mark had hit a rough patch with the apartment lease and Mark's contracting business slowing down, I didn't hesitate. "Come home," I told her. "There's plenty of space." They arrived with their twins, Sophie and Mason, then 10 years old, plus 4 suitcases, a U-Haul trailer, and promises that it would only be until things stabilize. I cleared out the guest bedroom and the spare room that used to be Paul's office. I made spaghetti the first night. We laughed. The twins ran through the halls like they owned them. For a few weeks, it felt like family again. Then the shift began. So gradual, I almost didn't notice until it was too late. First, it was small things. "Mom, can you pick up the kids from soccer? Mark's not a late bid meeting." Then, "The fridge is empty again. Your Social Security hits before our next paycheck, right?" Groceries became my responsibility. Utilities, too. Internet, water, trash pickup, even Mark's work truck registration and insurance, because business expenses are killing us. Claire started leaving little notes on the refrigerator. "Mom, please remember to wipe the counters after breakfast. The kids leave crumbs everywhere." "Mom, laundry today? Mark needs his khakis for tomorrow." "Mom, can you make lasagna tonight? The twins love it." The notes turned into a typed schedule one rainy October afternoon. Claire printed it on pastel paper, slid it across the kitchen island while I was peeling potatoes. "Here," she said brightly, "this will help everyone stay organized." I read it while the pot boiled. 5:45 a.m. Rise. Brew coffee. Strong for Mark, decaf for Claire. 6:15 a.m. Prepare breakfast. Eggs over easy for Mark, yogurt parfaits for kids, toast for Claire. 7:15 a.m. Pack lunches and backpacks. 7:15 a.m. Drive kids to school. 8 a.m. Return, deep clean 1 room per day, Monday kitchen, Tuesday bathrooms, etc. 9:30 a.m. Laundry cycle number 1, whites. 10:45 a.m. Grocery run, pharmacy, post office, list in blue folder. 12:30 p.m. Prepare lunch, leftovers preferred. 2 p.m. Pick up kids. 3:15 p.m. After school snack and homework oversight. 5 p.m. Start dinner, protein heavy, no weird vegetables for Mason. 6:45 p.m. Serve dinner, clear table. 7:30 p.m. Dishes and kitchen reset. 8:30 p.m. Kids' baths and bedtime stories. 9:30 p.m. Fold laundry, iron Mark's shirts for next day. 10:15 p.m. Prep coffee maker. Set out breakfast items. 11 p.m. Lights out in small bedroom. At the very bottom, in 12-point Arial bold, contribution expectations. Your fixed income covers all household operating costs. Mortgage, taxes already paid off, thank you. We handle our personal discretionary spending. If this structure doesn't suit you, we respect your decision to seek alternate arrangements. After 30-plus months of residency and contributing to property maintenance, we have established equitable interest under NC law. Best to keep things amicable. I stared at the page until the words swam. "Claire," I said quietly, "this is my house." She was scrolling her phone, didn't look up. "I know, Mom. That's why we're trying to make it run smoothly for everyone. You don't work anymore. We do. This just assigns roles." Mark walked in from the garage, wiping his hands on a rag. "Everything okay?" Claire smiled at him. "Mom's just reading the new routine. She'll get used to it." I folded the paper. My fingers trembled. And if I don't? Mark shrugged. We've talked to a guy. Family occupancy for that long creates certain protections. We're not trying to be mean. We just need stability for the kids. The threat was soft, almost polite, but it was there. That night, I moved into the smallest bedroom at the end of the hall, the one with the single window that looked out on the neighbor's fence. They said it made sense, closer to the laundry room, easier for early mornings. My queen bed from the master went into storage. Their California king arrived 2 days later. The twins adapted immediately. Grandma, can you sign my permission slip? Grandma, I need new cleats. Grandma, Mason spilled juice again. Can you mop it? They didn't mean to be cruel. They were children. Children learn what their parents teach. Claire and Mark went out more often. Date night, we deserve it after a long week. Dinners I paid for. Weekend getaways, we need to recharge. I stayed with the kids. Deep cleaned, cooked, washed sheets stained with marker and grape jelly. My Social Security check, $2,187 a month, vanished like smoke. Groceries for 5, school supplies, dance lessons for Sophie, travel soccer for Mason, Claire's highlights every 6 weeks, Mark's new golf clubs because networking is important in contracting. I started skipping my blood pressure pills some months to stretch the money. Claire's mother-in-law, Diane, arrived unannounced one Friday. Mark said it would be fine if I stayed a while. I'm between leases after the divorce. She brought 2 large suitcases and a list of dietary restrictions. No dairy, no gluten, low sodium, high protein. She critiqued everything. These towels smell musty. You really should vacuum under the furniture more often. The coffee is better. Use filtered water next time. She stayed and stayed and stayed. One morning, I came back from the pharmacy with my own refill, $42 I could barely afford, and found Diane in my old sewing room, now her craft space, sorting through my late mother's button collection like it was junk. These are outdated, she said. I'll donate them. I took the tin from her hands without a word and carried it back to my tiny room. That was the moment something cracked inside me. Not loudly, not dramatically, but permanently. I called my old library colleague Ruth, who had retired to elder law advocacy. Helen, this isn't family helping family, she said. This is exploitation. You need to speak with someone now. She gave me attorney Laura Bennett's number. I made the appointment for a Wednesday morning when everyone was out, told Claire I had a routine checkup, drove to a small office park near South Park Mall. Laura was in her late 50s, calm voice, sharp eyes. She listened for nearly an hour while I talked about the schedule, the money, Diane, the master bedroom, the veiled threats. When she finished, she folded her hands. You own the property free and clear. No lease agreement exists. No rent has been paid. North Carolina law does not automatically grant tenancy rights to family members living rent-free, especially when there is evidence of financial coercion and emotional manipulation. What they're doing qualifies as elder financial abuse under state statute. She explained the steps. Written notice terminating permissive occupancy, new conditions for continued residence, fair market rent, $1,350 per month per adult, proportional utility contribution, no unauthorized guests, and restoration of owners' private spaces. If refused, eviction filing and potential referral to adult protective services. Cost for the initial package of letters, $525. I wrote the check from the small emergency fund I'd kept hidden in a credit union account they didn't know about. Laura had the letters ready by 4 p.m. the same day. I placed them on the kitchen island that evening after dinner while the twins were in their rooms doing homework. 3 envelopes, one for Claire, one for Mark, one for Diane. Claire's opened first. her face drained of color. "Mom, what is this?" Mark read his next, voice rising. "You're giving us 30 days to pay rent or leave? Are you kidding?" Diane burst into tears. "I'm 68. You can't put me on the street." I kept my voice even. "You can stay if you agree to the terms. Rent begins in 31 days. Diane leaves in 7. She was never invited. My bedroom returns to me immediately. No more using my debit card. No more demands on my time or money." They tried every tactic. First, disbelief. "This is a joke. You're bluffing." Then, guilt. Claire cried. "The twins need their grandma. You're breaking up the family." Then, anger. Mark shouted in the living room for 40 minutes, called me cold, selfish, bitter. Then, negotiation. "What if we pay $600 total? That's fair." I said no. Then, legal threats. "We've talked to someone too. We have rights after living here this long." Laura had already warned me. They'll say that. Almost everyone does. It almost never holds up when no rent was paid and exploitation is documented. I recorded every conversation after that. North Carolina is a one-party consent state. Diane laughed on day 6, packed dramatically, slammed the front door, called me heartless from the driveway. Claire and Mark spent the next 3 weeks in a frenzy of apartment hunting. They discovered that $1,350 rent was roughly what they'd saved each month by living in my house. The final week, they became strangely courteous. "Helen, thank you for dinner." "Helen, the house looks nice." It felt obscene. Moving day was a Saturday in early June. A white rental truck backed into the driveway. Neighbors watched from porches. Sophie hugged me so tight my ribs hurt. "I don't want to go, Grandma." Mason whispered, "Will we still see you?" "Every other Saturday," I promised. "And whenever your parents allow it. I love you both so much." Claire loaded the last box, looked at me once, eyes red, mouth tight, and got into the passenger seat. Mark backed the truck out without a word. The house went quiet. I stood in the foyer for a long time, listening to nothing. Then I walked to the master bedroom, opened the windows, smelled the azaleas Paul and I had planted decades ago. I spent the afternoon moving my things back in, hung Paul's portrait above the dresser, put my grandmother's quilt on the bed, sat on the edge and cried, not from grief, but from the sudden weightlessness of being allowed to exist without apology. 3 months later. I wake at 7:30 because I want to, not because coffee must be ready at 5:45. I eat oatmeal with blueberries I bought for myself. I read the newspaper on the patio. I joined a senior walking group at the Y, started watercolor lessons at the Community Arts Center, planted new hydrangeas along the fence. Sophie and Mason visit every other Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We bake chocolate chip cookies, read library books, play board games, go to the ice cream parlor. No laundry, no homework policing, just Grandma. Claire calls once a month, polite, guarded. They rent a 3-bedroom townhouse 20 minutes away, pay their own bills now. Sometimes she says, "We miss you, Mom." I say, "I miss the children, but I don't miss being invisible in my own home." There are days I still feel the ache of what family could have been, of love that didn't demand my erasure. But there are more days when I feel something new, gratitude for the courage it took to say no, for the lawyer who believed me, for the quiet rooms that finally belonged to me again. At 69, I learned the truth no one tells you. Love is not a debt you owe forever. Family is not a license to consume you. And dignity is not negotiable, not even with your own child. My house is small again, just one person, but it is full of peace, of memories that don't hurt, of space to breathe. And that, I've discovered, is more than enough.